Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my paper, the research paper on elementary school teachers. My introduction is basically what I talk about the teachers and what they go through. Usually with special education students, problematic students, the process of planning their school day, like when they have a sub and throughout the year, because I know like recent times we're all online, so that's probably very difficult for teachers. They work more than ever. Well, they work all the time, but it's a lot. So they have to plan everything out and give everyone just, and so then, and then my first paragraph is what inspires students. Inspiring students is, it's certainly hard, but it's not hard if you do it the right way. The ups and downs of being a teacher are probably the hardest. There's a lot that goes into being a teacher anyway, and the ups and downs of like the staff meetings, things you have to change because of the board or from the state. The state will tell you what to teach, and all teachers have their own way of teaching, but to truly inspire students to succeed with whatever career path they choose, you have to push them in the right direction and tell them certain classes to take if they want to. This is if they're wanting to take them. Again, students, I was very inspired by all my teachers, because even though, they were teachers, I was inspired because they all had the work ethic and they all loved what they did. Me, on the other hand, I had a very hard time in school until about my freshman year, and I loved it because all I wanted to do was be better than the next guy. I always had a competition with everyone in the class to be better, and that was with my friends too. But in my second paragraph, behavioral and social skills of children, I talk about there's so many different influences from parents to students. Mostly parents and students. That's the two influences that I got out of all the articles that I read. So and I go into depth about how teachers have certain levels, how even teachers may have an influence on the way they act a certain way. Students can act that way, not in a good way, but students get from their, and I am more influenced by my classmates. I always want to be like everyone else. And most students should just be themselves, like 100% be themselves. And going into the IEP plans, and like my second paragraph of my research paper on behavioral and social skills, both these plans are to help those that need help with, like, when taking like a final exam. They have separate setting. You can still have it in college too. You can. You just have to put the effort in to get that and have your professor sign off on it. And then with that, there's a lot that goes into the 504 plan is a lot different. You don't have the read aloud process at all. You just have the separate setting. In IEP, you get your math portion, your science portion when you're in elementary school. That is all you get. Those two. That's a big advance in that you get when you have separate setting. You also get the separate setting, so that's a +2. But the only two that you don't get with the IEP plan is the reading everything to you, because the reading and English portion is something that they can't read. The proctor, is that the right word? Can't read that to you. But other than that, it's pretty simple process. You have to do several different tests to see what you qualify for, what kind of plan you qualify for, especially. And moving on from this paragraph, we move into teacher's salary. Oh my, this is a big one for me. I'm always curious. When I went through this, I thought about what I think, what I've heard from some of my family members were once like teachers. My uncle and my aunt were teachers. they one is still is, and she's like, it's a very difficult process, but love it. They love it. They love what they do. They usually, in different states, they all make a different amount of money, about 45, but they all start at $45,000 a year. And with that being said, just everything going along with that, like in New York, they make about 60 grand a year, which I think is quite unfair when there's teachers in North Carolina that make about 45. They should all teachers should make around the same amount of money and have the same benefits, because the ups and downs of teaching is you get 3 months off summer vacation. There's other ways there's other ups and downs, but you have a whole 3 months off of school. The salary is a big difference, and like in New York, it's kind of, they make a lot more since they're up north. That's what I call it. But yeah, they make a lot of money because they have, and the benefits. And then going through that, I had a second paragraph talking about the benefits of teachers that work at a private and public school. Public school, it's a public school. It's kind of your average school. Private school has the benefits. Teachers have more benefits than a usual teacher has. They make a lot more because they're at a private school or charter school. They also make lots of, they make a lot of money. They have different benefits. Not that they make a lot of money. Every teacher makes their own amount of money. Anyone that wants to be a teacher makes their own amount of money. With that being said, I move into my conclusion. So my conclusion, I basically wrapped everything up into 1 to 2 paragraphs. Most likely 2. I first started talking about my first paragraph, my introduction, like what went through my head, the problematic students, the process of planning a school day, the ups and downs of being a teacher. I give a couple examples in that paragraph. In the paragraphs, I had about 1 paragraph, I think, maybe 2, maybe 1.5. But I talk about the ups and downs of being a teacher and how that is quite hard for teachers, and how they inspire students. I go through and talk about those behavioral and social skills and how you can change the influences on kids, students, and then going along with that, the IEP plans and how helping others work. The IEP plans, I go a little bit in depth with those. I tell what they have, what are their differences for the plans, and how they affect the students and how they help the students. And I go in to talk about, for my very last paragraph, a teacher's salary. I talk about it. I basically talk about money. But the different teacher salaries in different states, they all range from about $45,000 to $60 grand a year. 45 grand to 60 grand a year. It's a big difference. In New York, you make about 60 grand a year. And with teachers, the benefits of being a teacher, of working on a private school and a public school, that's completely beside the point. That is, working at a private school, you make more as a teacher. You have the same benefits with, like for example, you have 3 months off of school. Public schools, they start about $45,000 a year. So, and then with that being said, I move to my conclusion. This is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoy it.